Fredman asked curiously. Mr. Wei has a lot of romantic debts? Of course there are many. Barena Wei said helplessly. You don't know that my old master, like me, is a humanoid pile driver. He was handsome when he was young, and he would coax women and buy medicinal materials everywhere by doing business. The chance of going to sleep is almost wherever you go in this field. As far as I know, there are no less than 20 old lovers. This is just what I know, more than that could be breathing somewhere. So moving. Fredman exclaimed, your father was so romantic when he was young? Barena Wei nodded, and said depressed, how else can I find a half-brother who is a wild brother for me? Actually, there are several wild plants outside my dad, and the others are all girls. This species is a man. After my grandfather knew about it, he insisted that the Wei family's species could not be left outside, and forced my dad to take him back from Changbai Mountain. After speaking, Barena Wei said again, not only I don't want to see this wild species, but my dad doesn't want to see him either himself, but there is no way. It is a mess at home. Fredman had long heard that the Wei family had 2 sons. The eldest son was Barena Wei, and the younger son Liang Wei was an illegitimate son. He was a romantic debt left by the Wei family's father in the early years. He was not received until he was a teenager. The Wei family has never been seen by anyone, and even the character of the Wei family is not qualified to use it. It seems that Liang Wei grew up in this environment, and it is also miserable enough. Fredman suddenly asked curiously, by the way, Brother Wei, your old master is so romantic. His ability in that area is definitely not ordinary. Is there any good medicine? Barena Wei nodded and said with a smile. Don't say. There is really a recipe that the old master accidentally got outside when he was young. It can strengthen the muscles and nourish the kidney, and greatly improve the ability of men in that area. Really? Fredman said in surprise. Brother, is this recipe still there now? Barena Wei said, how do you say this recipe? When I was young, my dad ate it for 20 to 30 years. It was really useful. It is said that when the old guy was collecting medicine in the southwest, he fought a dozen times overnight and he gave him the nickname Wei Jia 14. Speaking of this, Barena Wei sighed and said, but this prescription, I wanted to take it for mass production later, and the pharmacokinetics studied it and found that this thing has the strong liver toxicity and nephrotoxicity. So you look at my old master, in his early 60s, his liver and kidneys are almost exhausted, and the doctor said that if he lives for another 2 or 3 years at most, he has to go to the West to report to the Buddha. Fredman's originally delighted face suddenly became heavy. It is important to regain the abilities of men and reorganize the male power, but life is even more important. You can't take your life in order to play with women, right? Barena Wei saw his contrast, and asked curiously, Fredman, what wrong? Is there anything unspeakable? Fredman showed a helpless expression and said, Brother Wei, it's true that I am a D*MN living eunuch now, brother, and I can't do anything at all. I went to the hospital and the doctor couldn't do anything. You must help me. As he said, he hurriedly asked, is the medicine your old master used once or twice as toxic? Would you like to get it for me to try? Barena Wei hurriedly said, Brother, don't try that medicine. If you really break your body, the gain is not worth the loss. As he said again, by the way, our Wei family is just studying this prescription, hoping to improve it, so that it not only strengthens the male virility, but also not hurt the body. If done well, it is possible. It has a strong repairing effect on men's abilities. Really? Fredman said in surprise. That's great. When can I get it out? Barena Wei said, however, this medicine is still short of medicinal materials. If it is to be completed, it will take 2 days for the traditional medicine expo to be held before I can buy this medicinal material at the expo. Fredman was overjoyed. Let alone 2 days, as long as he can be cured, he can wait 2 years. So he hurriedly said, Brother Wei, after the medicine is made, can you sell me a copy? I really need this thing now. Is it necessary? He is now a living eunuch. If he keeps that way, he might as well cut himself off. Baraina Wei sighed and said, "It's not that the old master didn't help you. The materials needed for this medicine are too precious. It is estimated that in the early trials, only one copy can be made." After finishing speaking, he glanced at Wendy and said with a smile, "However, it is not impossible to discuss." How could Fredman not know what Baraina Wei this old fox meant? He showed a smile that every man understands, and said directly to Wendy, "Wendy, from now on you will be Brother Wei's person. Thank him for me, like serving me." "Serve him, you know?" When Baraina Wei heard this, he was immediately excited. Seeing Wendy's first glance, he longed for something to happen to this beauty. But when he heard that she was Fredman's niece, he was very disappointed. But unexpectedly, she turned out to be Fredman's lover, and Fredman directly pushed Wendy into his hands in order to beg for medicine. This is really no effort at all.